I can't think of any other new vehicle that better keeps alive the dream of the classic American muscle car than the Dodge Challenger. Offered with anywhere from 305 to 797 horsepower, with bright colors and all manner of go-fast performance parts, it's a hugely fun car. And for 2019, the Challenger gets some tweaks to make it even more exciting. Decoding the dozens of changes to all the Challenger's many trim levels is a little bit complicated, so let's break down exactly what this car is. The RT Scat Pack gets a 6.4-litre Hemi V8 under the hood. You get 485 horsepower and 475 pound-feet of torque. The Widebody kit is new to this car this year. Dodge originally developed these fender flares for the Demon and then has rolled them down to other Challenger models. They add 3.5 inches of width to the car, but maybe even more important, they allow for fitting these wider 305 section width tires at each corner. They're wrapped around these absolutely awesome looking 20-inch wheels that Dodge calls, no kidding, the Devil's Rim. Previously, the widest tires you could get on the Scat Pack were 275 section widths, which are not exactly narrow, but now with the 305 section widths on here, that's 12 inches of rubber at each corner. Personally, I didn't really think that the Scat Pack needed more grip before. I thought it had just the right amount of traction to rein in that V8 engine, but Dodge proved me wrong. The new tires shave 0.2 of a second off this car's quarter-mile time, dropping it to 12.1 seconds according to Dodge. And along with 6-piston Brembo front brakes, it cuts the 60 to 0 braking distance by 3 feet. Those are really solid improvements. But don't fear, just because there's more grip, it doesn't mean you can't still break this car's tires loose at a moment's notice. This car is so much fun. I think this engine is just the right amount of power that you can have fun with it on the street without constantly being afraid that you're going to wind up in jail, which is kind of how I feel when I drive the Challenger Hellcat. The engine has fantastic throttle response all through its rev range, and it sounds just fantastic. This 6-speed manual transmission really makes the experience for me too. It's not exactly sports car-like, it's got pretty long throws and kind of a heavy mechanical action. But that just makes it even more satisfying to use. It makes the process of going fast in this car just even more engaging. The only thing I would change is that I wish the pedals were a little better spaced for easy heel-toe downshifting. Still, in a straight line on an open road, the Scat Pack is an absolute monster. If the orange paint doesn't make people see you coming, the roaring engine absolutely will. The Widebody package also gets handling upgrades in the form of performance-tuned springs, adaptive dampers, and larger anti-roll bars. Up front, we've got the air catcher headlights that originally debuted on the Hellcat. They get more cooling air into the engine bay, and there's also vents on the hood to get more heat out of the engine bay. Up front, there's that massive new splitter, and it works alongside the rear trunk lid spoiler to give me more downforce at speed. Now, there's no getting around the fact that the Dodge Challenger is long, wide, and heavy. This one tips the scales at about 4,300 pounds, and just to put that in perspective, that's pretty much as heavy as a Jeep Wrangler Sahara, and almost 600 pounds beefier than a Ford Mustang GT. That said, it's really impressive how well this car handles considering its size and weight. I wouldn't call it nimble per se, but between the Velcro adhesion from the Pirelli tires, the anchor-like Brembo brakes, and that really stiff suspension, this thing really does hustle around corners and stop like a sports car. In fact, Dodge says that with the Widebody kit, this car is 2 seconds faster a lap around a track than last year's Scat Pack. They didn't specify which track, but the point is that this car is faster in every respect. As in most modern sports cars, there's a lot of electronic controls to help me go fast too. From the drive mode button, I can choose from street, track, and sport modes for the adaptive dampers and steering and traction control. I've got launch control to help me make those quicker starts, and line lock to help me, well, destroy those Pirellis even quicker. The 6.4-litre engine does unfortunately drink quite a lot of premium fuel. It's rated by the EPA for 14 miles per gallon in the city and 23 mpg on the highway, but I haven't really been getting anywhere close to those numbers. Oh, and to make things even worse, because this car is so inefficient, you pay a $1,000 gas guzzler tax on the sticker price when you buy it. That said, I'm probably willing to put up with higher gas prices given how much fun this engine is to drive. Of course, the Challenger is not just a one-trick pony only about going fast. The cabin is quite roomy, the back seat is spacious enough that you can actually fit 3 adults back there. The trunk is pretty roomy too, it's certainly bigger than you get in a Camaro or a Mustang. And this Uconnect touchscreen infotainment system is one of the best in the business. We've got an entire separate video telling you about all the tech inside this car. Pricing for the 2019 Challenger starts at about $29,000, but getting into these higher performance models is obviously more expensive. This RT scatpack widebody with a couple of options has an as-tested price of $55,000. I still think that's a pretty good horsepower per dollar ratio, but if you're looking for something a little more affordable, you can get into this 6.4 litre engine if you've picked the regular RT Scat Pack. That one's only about $40,000. And if you're just looking to go fast and not necessarily hit the track all the time, I think that's probably the one to go for. So aside from finding a parking space big enough for it and affording the big gas bills, living with the Challenger day to day isn't all that tough.